session for a client, so I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in exploring a session with me, please come visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. All right, thank you so much for the opportunity to connect with you today. I can't wait to see what we discover here. I'm going to go ahead and read your goals out loud and get started. All right, so you say, I had a dream one time, severe drug days, where a lady in a blue suit with blonde hair was holding my hand, and she was showing me things, like we were in different scenes or projections even. What was happening there, Abby? All right. So it's a dream. During a time when you were in an altered state, a lady in a blue suit with blonde hair holding your hand, and she was showing you some things, different scenes or projections even. Yeah. Wow. Definitely has an impact on my heart. Right. Shall we see what this is about or what? I'm going to relax and see what comes up here. Who is this lady? What was she showing you? Okay. First experience, and it's kind of like, let's just call it a feather duster, because I feel it on my nose and it's kind of dusting on my face and it feels dirty to me, but it's more bristly than feathery, okay? And it is soft. It is soft. And I just feel it kind of brushing across my face, like right like this, okay? And a lot of the colors are dark grays, and there's some green in there as well. Now, what I find interesting is there's an experience with the top of the nose, the eyes, and there's sort of like a Y-shaped energy flowing through here, okay? So you have the nose, it goes up to like the eyebrows, but then it sort of goes to a V, so it makes like a Y. Your third eye then would be kind of in that open space of the Y. And your human eyes seem to be closed. They actually have a bit of a film over them. And now I see your face is stuck in glass or stuck in a mirror. And you can't get your face out of this. I mean, it definitely is very thick, like bulletproof glass. And it's right around your whole face. I mean, I can't push it through or pull it back, and it seems to scratch really badly. And what's interesting is your throat is saying, I don't necessarily want out of this, literally. And I'm scratching my head and saying, what is it that you feel is good? From my point of view, you're stuck, it's uncomfortable, and it's clogging your vision, and I don't see the positive benefits. However, even in difficult times, we learn and grow, right? So everything is a positive experience, right? So I'm asking your throat why it seems okay with this. It says, I don't want to change. I don't want to change, and I can live with this. I'm fine with this. I feel happy. I feel happy like this. I feel happy. And what's funny is you're actually manifesting birds that are chirping and singing, and it's very, I don't know, like a Disney movie, like scene, like a Cinderella singing, and then the bluebirds are chirping and singing with her. And that's what your throat is expressing, really happy sounds now. Everything's starting to get very happy, and you feel very confident in your decisions. You feel very confident in this experience. And it doesn't matter that your face is trapped in this glass. It doesn't matter that your eyes have a film over them. None of this matters. Even this brush, this Y shape, the third eye, whatever is going on, doesn't matter, because I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. And maybe that's the influence of drugs speaking, but you're pretty happy. I mean, you really are expressing a lot of joy right now. And as you express this joy, your heart is literally opening up like a freaking flower in ultra bloom, like it's really opening itself up. I mean, it's still opening itself up. It's just got layers and layers and layers and layers of petals, and it's just like, oh my god, your heart is just like, it won't stop opening up. It's pretty incredible, actually. I'm in awe of it. And it's beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful to look at your heart doing this, and it's still opening up. I mean, when will it ever stop? I don't know. It's still opening up. And there's singing coming from your heart. There's singing coming out your voice. There's singing in every direction of your energy field. You're starting to glow with a lot of light. And you say, I'm happy. This is what life is worth living for. This. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And so I'm still standing there. And I mean, you literally are speaking from a place of honesty. You really are happy. Okay. So I'm still watching. And I know in my heart that while this moment is pristine and pure and perfect in the way that it feels, I see the opposing event taking place where eventually you will have to face this in all the cold reality that life has to offer us, right? When we come down from these joys and then now we see things for the way that they really are, and we see that this actually isn't real joy. I mean, this is a problem. This is a real problem. But in the moment, it's not. It really isn't. Isn't that interesting, you know? And you literally are having your euphoric experience, and that euphoric experience is real, is actually real. But your head is still stuck in this glass, and it still hurts to try to move it out. I mean, there's still a problem here that needs to get looked at. Okay, I still feel like I'm stuck in between, like I'm kind of the parental figure. Now, you know better than this, you know, and when you wake up, you're going to see what's really going on here. You're not going to like it. I'm kind of that type of voice. And that type of voice is in a rubber band that is expanding and contracting but it's wonderful. It's full of joy. So how could this be bad? Even if I have a downer moment, so what? I had this upper moment, and that's all that really matters, is I got to experience this. So we're still in this kind of expanding, contracting conversation here. And I want to get out of that because I want to actually get to know who this woman is with the blue suit and the blonde hair. Because it's like we could talk about this all day. I want to move on. My guides are saying no, let's just continue to follow this through, so we will. Your heart is fully bloomed. It actually looks like a pine cone has like a lot of these. If a pine cone could be a flower somehow, it looked kind of interesting. Those look like petals, right? But they're made out of wood, you know. Now, this flower is, if we could kind of, I mean, it just seems to go on forever, and it reminds me of a pine cone now, even though it really doesn't, because pine cones are kind of oval shape, and this is more like a semicircle. But it does, I keep getting conflicted between the flower and the pine cone. But it's done, and the flower has now gone into full bloom, but I see that it's aging, and now the bloom is dying. It's gone through its life cycle. As the bloom dies, I see that your energy is becoming more like a dark forest, basically. It's like a rainy day in a dark forest. And I don't want to linger in that either. But my guides are saying let's move through this as the next experience. And this is the pathway that leads us to this female, okay? It's not that bad. I mean, yeah, I feel like it's a gloomy day in my energy field. I feel like it's a dark forest. It's not that bad. I mean, it's manageable. And what's wow, this is so surreal. As I'm going into kind of a gloomier energetic state, I am looking down and my feet are on a thin flat line, and that flat line is the same thing that my face is stuck inside of. So there's really interesting perspective going on here. Did I lose my head? My head is stuck in the glass and I'm standing on the thin line of that glass, I'm standing on my head now. It's really strange. But when I look down, I see this is really overwhelming my perspective. I feel like I'm gonna fall, like an Alice falling into Wonderland, but this is getting more swallowed up in the dark forest. It's not like a magical, interesting dark forest. It's more like the trees died. So it's like a dead forest, and it's got a dark cloud over it. And it just feels heavy. It feels like a rainy day. Like a really unhappy rainy day. Alright, so now we're experiencing two sides of the perspective. One is acceptance. It doesn't matter if it's this way. I'm experiencing this euphoric moment, and it is so full of rejoicing, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful to know what this feels like. I feel an abundance here. Now, it's not that bad. Everything's kind of turning into like it's going through a death phase, and I'm getting pulled into the dead, dark, gloomy forest. It's not that bad. I got to know what this feels like, this euphoria, so I have to experience a little bit of the dead forest. It's not that bad. So we're in this experience right now. I'm still not able to get to her. However, I can feel her. And we're almost there. I mean, I could even build a bridge directly to her. I actually can point her out. I can almost reach her. Now I see. Oh, man. We're gonna have to rearrange basically time and space so the past becomes the present. And now we stand in her dimension, in her space, in her reality. I mean, we literally have to rearrange reality in order to access her. You know who she looks like to me? Do you guys remember Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase? And like he goes to the mall and he's at the lingerie, like his little lingerie shop, and there's this like ultra good looking woman there, and he can't speak. Like every word he says is like he can't speak. His mind is just blown by her, she's this very attractive woman. So I see her like this woman, okay? So to me she has actually like dark brown hair, and she has darker features. And I'm starting to feel a little different in my heart now. I don't like her, actually. I feel instantaneously angry, and I feel like she's a liar. I feel like she has a presentation that it's so attractive you can't think of anything else. Just like Chevy Chase, he couldn't get his words right or his thoughts right. It was so funny to watch that. And she does this. She presents herself in a way that you can't think clearly, and then you can't see her for who she truly is. And so she's using that against you. But it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter, because the euphoria, the heart, the blossoming flower, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't, because she can look really attractive and she can emanate what I want to believe that she represents. Just like this euphoric drug experience is taking me into a place that this is fine with. I'm fine with this, man. I'm fine with this. So I go to the dead forest. It's fine. I got to experience this, so I have some gloomier days. But she represents that too. So what is she? Like, she's the euphoria, but she's also, the truth is, the dead forest, okay? She's the euphoria and she is the dead forest. So what is she actually? What is she actually? What is she actually? Maybe she's a trap. Maybe she is a cycle. of extremes. You do something with the pattern of reality here, and you kind of change the pattern of it, and you're talking to me and you're speaking, it's coming from your throat and your heart at the same time, and your neck is really stiff. And there's still echoes here of, it doesn't matter, 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 it doesn't matter. There's still echoes here of it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. And it's making your neck so stiff. It's making my heart feel strange. I'm getting really bad echoes now of having a big hammer and hitting myself in the head with it over and over and over and over again, and expecting that to feel good. Like I'm just going to take this hammer and hit myself in the head. I'm going to do it again and again and again and again and again. And that's kind of what happens when you go from euphoria down into the dead forest. It's about as effective as hitting your head with a hammer, because you're hurting your brain, you're hurting your body, you know? I do understand having memories of knowing what it is like to feel like that. And then knowing what it is like to feel like an everyday person, and knowing what it is like to feel totally like the dead forest. I understand the value of having these experiences and knowing what it's like, right? But now when we get lost in them, that's a totally different conversation. We just gain more experiences from that. But I see that this is hurting your head. Actually, it's hurting your head. I'm really, every time I look at her, I get really furious, because what she represents is a lie. And it doesn't matter that she represents a lie. That's what you're saying. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But it does matter. It does matter that she represents a lie. It does matter. It does matter. Because you're okay with a lie. And are you actually okay with that? Are you actually okay with that? What are you getting out of a lie? What are you gaining from it? How is that making it a better life for you? She represents a lie. But what's nice is she can represent the euphoria of that lie. But can she represent the dead forest of that? No, because she is the lie. She represents the euphoria. The euphoria is the lie. The dead forest is what's actually going on here. Therefore, she actually is the dead forest. Oh, yeah, okay, new echoes happening. Oh man, this is hard because you're stuck in multiple mirrors, and I see there's lots of tiny little shards of mirror, and then there's full mirrored pieces, and there's this hammer, and continually hitting yourself in the head with the hammer, and then little chips of mirror just start appearing everywhere, and they kind of become your teeth, and they start to cut your lips and your gums and your teeth. And you say, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter hitting yourself in the head some more. It doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. And so I just say, stop. Just stop. Like sometimes you get carried away with going way too fast, and you literally need to stop. You need to stop and catch up with reality. Got to catch up with reality. You don't want to. Reality is a little too harsh, and this isn't harsh. This is nice. The dead forest, it's whatever. I can deal with the dead forest. This is nice. This euphoria is nice. I want this. Slow down. Let's go back. Not like back in time, okay? We're just slowing down, and it's like stepping way back just to catch up with reality, okay? Sometimes you have to take a step way back in order to catch up with reality. She's a fantasy. She's a projection of a fantasy. But she is a lie that you're attracted to, and you're okay with it for a time, okay? I say it's okay to let her go when you're ready. In fact, it's okay to see when she's gone that there's literally emptiness. It's almost like we need to actually get so caught up with reality that we realize we were attracted to emptiness. The emptiness made us believe it was euphoric and it was blossoming flower forever and it was so amazing and it's the best ever. And it was emptiness that we were attracted to all along. Emptiness. She's a representation of emptiness. Her truth is. You refuse to feel that in your heart. You refuse that. And it's not like you're angry at all. You again say it's fine if she's not real or she's a lie or she represents emptiness, fine. But she was real to me. She was real to me for a time and she meant something to me. Okay. Okay, we're going to explore that. Again, what I find interesting here is we've already defined her as representing a lie. But the lie doesn't matter because what she represented meant something to you. So the fantasy meant something to you. Therefore, she'll never be anything but the fantasy which was good enough. Let's just explore this a little bit. So I'm talking to the universe because I'm really trying to find the right language to really hone in on an articulate meaning that I'm trying to get to. The reason why I'm struggling is because we're talking about a euphoria that was real. Even if it was a lie, it doesn't matter because it was real, right? The dead forest, it is what it is. I'm okay with it. And I love the euphoria. And I'm glad I had these experiences. But you're still living in as though the euphoria was the truth, was the reality. And you can say that, yes, it was. It definitely was, because it was real to you, right? But on the other side of that reality is you hitting yourself in the head with a hammer with your head stuck in glass in a mirrored space where all these little pieces of mirror are actually cutting your mouth. That's the reality that you can't allow yourself to listen to. Therefore, you still choose to hear the fantasy, which means you still are okay with the lie. I do get it though, trust me. Because I do really get you a lot. But I'm called to help you see it for what it really is, so that you can have a genuine relationship with reality. That means it has to feel more genuine to me, because it can't be connected to the fantasy. It has to be connected to the reality, and then through reality we can appreciate that we had that experience. But when it's still connected to fantasy and we appreciate that we had that experience, it hasn't reached like the next level of ascension with what this is about. You have to see it for the raw reality. Then through that perspective, you can value having had that experience because you saw it for what it truly was. You see what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Wow, that's waking you up pretty fast, because you're still, this part of you is still choosing to stay in that dream state with her. So you literally still had an aspect of your own soul still in that dream with her, who wasn't even real. She's just represented something you chose to be okay with, and you liked the fantasy better than the reality. So you also, okay, this is the next level. This is getting so interesting, it really is. I didn't expect this. Okay. You're waking up and she's not. I don't know if you manifested her to be somehow, you breathed life and consciousness into this fantasy. So now she's actually a real entity. Did you birth her? Did you birth a soul? Did you create the soul? Where'd she come from? You or somewhere else? Because she's now emanating realness. Okay, tangibility. And your heart and her heart have a massive root connection. I mean, it's massive heart to heart root connection. And the darker features are disappearing and the blonde hair is appearing here. And she's really like the sun, okay? She's becoming like, she reminds me of Barbie in a way, but she's got her own look, okay? She's really happy and bright like the sun. This cord is unbelievable. I don't even know what to make of it. You're still pulling joy from this memory. You're still pulling joy from this memory. I say I'm pulling the plug from you both because you're feeding off of each other. We're still dealing with dream and fantasy. I want to see how real she really is, and I want to see what you're like without her there. I want to see. This is not easy. It's almost impossible. Because you're trying to merge with her soul. You're trying to merge with her. How did you do it? How is she even, like, did you create her? Did you birth her? You just starting to rise together as though you're like husband and wife, and all these fireworks are going in every direction, and there's this, I mean, it's the size of like a flagpole. It's like super thick cord, and it's only maybe 3 inches of space that separates you from her, and your hearts are like hardcore connected. And you're rising up, and you're just in this state of euphoria still. I'm like a Debbie Downer, man. I'm like the biggest Debbie Downer of all time. I mean, I'm about to show you reality. What a bummer I am, you know. And I'm just allowing you to just keep rising like a hot air balloon. This will eventually run out of steam. I don't know what it's going to look like when you finally wake up, but it might be kind of scary. Still rising, still like in this euphoria. Fireworks, it's the best thing ever. She's getting like more and more blonde energy. Literally all her whole energy field is glowing with blonde energy, like literally like a yellowy, really pale yellowy color, and it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter. I'm gonna stop time. Yeah, I see, again, I see the same thing. She is not a healthy balance. She is not good. She is not as good as she appears. Because when I start to say no more, it's not as wonderful as it appears. Still getting you to choose to just stop. It's like she's feeding off of you. The question is, how did she manifest anyway? because I'm going to pull the plug out of you and send her back and pull you away and down. And I have a feeling she's more like a vampire, if anything. And you say, I don't care though. It doesn't matter if she's a vampire. It doesn't matter. All that matters is I'm in this euphoric experience. That's all that matters. I don't care if it's not real. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I don't care if she's a vampire. This is great. Do you see how this echo here that you're stuck in? You're still in it. You're still living it. There's a wake-up call moment that I'm still working on getting to. And you do hit it, only to reveal you're still stuck in it. Okay. I ask you, do you want to be separated from her? I'm just going to just say it. And I just, can you take a break? Can you take an intermission? Just stop for 30 seconds. If you want to get connected again, go right at it, but let's just stop for a minute, okay? Are you strong enough to just disconnect for 30 seconds? Oh, yeah. You're saying I can do that. But what's actually happening is there's a weird meatball body that is very grotesque looking, and it's like a celery stick that root looks like a celery stick connected between the meatball body you that's covered in a weird like teriyaki sauce and it's connected to the heart of this whatever this thing is. It's more like a scarecrow, if anything. And you're screaming like, don't take my reality away from me, don't take my reality away from me. It wasn't real though, you see. And this meatball thing is just a screaming, crying baby. And the celery stick is more like an arrow through your heart. And you're basically a thin skin just wafting here in the wind. And she's starting to turn into just a blobulous material. But I still experience something of a life force energy from her. And I see that there's... Okay, you're way too vulnerable. I'm actually going to have to contain this properly. First step is getting you to say, okay, I'm ready to disconnect. Because when that happens, reality sets in and you start to realize that this was never real. You're such a thin skin. And I see her eyes are extremely attractive, extremely alluring. And it's hard for you to see her for who she really is. And she's not good energy. I'm just going to put her in a lot of water. And then I'm going to send that water away. She does not like water, that's for sure. And this is giving you a major hangover headache. It's giving you a major headache. And you start to feel your feet coming back down to the ground and the stress in your neck. And you're saying, what's wrong with me and what am I doing to myself? I just ask you a weird question, like, do you feel like maybe that through this experience you're trying to maybe, let's just put it out there, what if through this experience you're trying to go through the veil of death and reach heaven, but you can't die yet, so then you come back to life here on earth, which is like a dead forest, only to choose a drug experience that gets you through the veil of death itself to heaven, only for a brief moment, only to come back to the dead forest of the human reality. But that's not really what it is. If you allow it, you can experience something extremely special here. And I start to notice you have major like energy bulbous, gross things growing on your head. They look like really thick hamburger patties. I mean, they're really hard too. They're really hardened. And you look like you have a very ashy skeleton, and it's got some very strange, like, blue chalky aspects to it. And I see you want to stay in a dream, because a dream is better than life. And that's why you don't care if it wasn't real. It was still better than life. I say that's something you got to work on. That right there, that is something that you really need to process. A new relationship with that statement, because a dream is not better than life. If you're choosing the dream over the real world, then you're not living. You're not actually alive. You're projected in a dream. You didn't come here to be in a dream. You came here to really get grounded and try to make sense of this human thing and conquer all the vulnerabilities and help others. And you say, I just don't want to let it go. I say, you do want to let it go. So now you're lying to yourself. You do want to let it go. I see her eyes now inside of your head. And she's the one that keeps you saying, I don't want to let it go. So you need to say the truth. You do want to let it go. That's what helps you come back. That's what gets rid of her. You don't want her. She's a gross, ugly thing. She's a gross, ugly thing. Your heart is still intertwined. You still... Okay. You're getting some inner power. You're starting to rise up to the surface of yourself from deep inside, and you're starting to override her magic. Okay, you're starting to override her magic, and you're starting to kick her out. And you're saying, oh my God, what the hell have I been doing? You say it a lot more cuss words than that. But you're like, holy, oh, what am I doing? Yeah, you're having a wake-up call. This is really impressive. I mean, it's so fast, this wake-up call. Like, you're filling in the blanks of your body, and she's like turning into a weird sand that's just turning in. It's like blowing in a breeze coming out of you. She's just pushing out of you, and she's blowing away like sand in the wind. And you feel kind of like some sand still in your skin, and you're kind of trying to wash it out, but you can't get the water in there. And I say, just be done with it completely. It just disappears. And then there's no sand in there at all. There's no sand left. There's nothing of her left. So let go completely. Okay, this is... There's a lot. There's a lot of interesting things in here. You're kind of waking up in another space, and it has to do with a mirror. And there's reflections, there's puddles of mirror on the ground and sand, and you're waking up, and the puddles are white in color, but they're reflective and they act like mirrors. And there's parts of yourself in here holding themselves, and it's cold, and it's empty, and it's lost. You start to feel claustrophobic, and you don't know how to get out. They say we just take a big step back and we catch up with reality, because you already are out. You already have chosen to set yourself free. So what remains is the echoes and remnants of this experience. And so we're just fill them with light. Fill them with support and love. Thank them for being a part of this journey. Thank them for being so strong. So that's all I can share. Oh, wow. That was really different, really interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. Everybody watching, thank you so much for all your love and support here. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.